what is so special about human existence is his ability to inquire. This inquiry process and the discrimination process, the very beautiful skill which Bhagavan has given to us, through which we can reach that maximum potential, to reach the purpose or the meaning. For this, I would like to tell you a small story. There was a sadhu who wanted to understand the truth. So he went into the forest and started to do meditation, basically tapas if you want to call it, withdrawing himself from the entire world of actions and then focusing his mind onto the higher. He started living a very disciplined life and started to inquire and meditate. After a while, Bhagavan appeared in front of him and asked, "My dear, what do you want?" Then the moment he saw Bhagavan, he was so enthralled. He said, "I don't want anything. After seeing you, what do I want? I am very happy with it." Then Bhagavan said, "No, please ask, because you wanted something and so you did the tapas." Then the devotee said, "Okay, give me a chance to serve you." Then he said, "Okay, get me some water to drink." Then the tapasvi searched the entire forest. He couldn't find the source of water. He started walking, and then he reached a village where he saw a very young girl drawing water from the local well. So he approached her and said, "Can you give me water?" She was looking at him. He was a young guy, but with a lot of tejas because he's done a lot of tapas. And then she gave him water. And then he decided, like, before taking water, let me drink. Then he drank some water. Then the young lady said, "You look very tired, and I will give you some food. Please come to my house because I would like to host a sadhu." He said, "No, I'm in a hurry." No, please come. You have come all the way. Then he said, "Okay, why not go? I have long years, I've been there in the forest." So he goes to the house and he eats bhiksha. After a while, it becomes too dark, and she says, "Please, why don't you stay tonight? Tomorrow you can leave in the morning." Then he said, "Okay, it's too late also to go into the forest. Then I'll stay here." While staying in the house, he saw an old man in the house and he got sick and nobody was there to help this lady. So he said, "I will help." So they take the old man and give medication to him and stuff like that. And the doctor said, "You have to recuperate, it takes time." So by the time he also thought, like, young girl, nobody with her, why not me help him to recuperate? After a while, it became days to months and weeks and months, and then after a while, the old man passed, and then she was saying to him, "Nobody is here, please stay with me. My father was here and nobody is there." He said, "Okay, what is there?" So he stays there, and after a while, the girl says, "Why don't we get married?" Then they get married, they can have children. Then after a while, he has grandchildren, and he's such a very pious man, a very straightforward and a very skillful guy. He helps the villagers to develop the village so nice. After a while, he looks at his achievement, and then suddenly in front of his eyes, the entire village goes into the earth. And then from the earth, there is a face and a voice coming, "My dear devotee, I'm still thirsty. When will you get me my water?" Then he realizes, what is the purpose I came down here? Every human who is born on this land has a very unique and a special purpose to reach. How do we understand this purpose? How do we reach this purpose? What is the meaning for this? This is what is the explanation given in all our shastras. And all our great masters realized it. And one such master is Pujya Swami Chinmayananda, who came down, who showed us how to realize a purpose. And not only showed us, he propagated it and guided us in trying to understand our real purpose. Who is this Swami Chinmayananda? How did he come to do it? It's a beautiful story. He was born as Balakrishna Menon in Kerala to a very beautiful, big, affluent family. But his mother passed away when he was very young, and his aunt took care of him. He had sisters, but he was a very naughty person. As a child, as naughty as a child could be. But he was very, very inquiry-based child. was not very keen on all this idol worship and pujas and stuff like that. He always questioned. His favorite pastime would be going and sitting in the puja room, which was forced, and then he used to look at all the faces of Bhagavan, and he chose Bhagavan Shiva because he was meditative. Then he used to bring it in the memory. He used to play games in the puja room when others were praying actually. Then he went on to do his education, and but he was a very strong patriot, and he wanted freedom for the nation. So he decided he will go to Lucknow, where he wanted to pursue his higher education, and also he could fight for the nation from there. Then there was a notice on him to arrest him, and then he was arrested by the Britishers, put it in the jail, and he became sick in the jail. The Britishers thought if a young freedom fighter dies in the jail, it will create a huge uproar in the freedom struggle. So they took him and threw him on the road. A Christian lady took care of him, nurtured him, and then if you see, after a while he started to question a lot of things. He was a he was an editor, sub-editor of National Herald. He was a journalist by profession. He wanted to talk the voice of a common man, and he wrote under the pen name Mochi. Mochi is cobbler. Cobbler is a common man sitting and seeing the entire world as it is, and started to write the vagaries of a common man, life of a common man, and he wanted to uplift them basically. So he was writing, and his best friend Shah passed away, and then he questioned, what is this? A young boy who was supposed to live died. I was supposed to die, I lived. So these kind of questions are going on in his mind. Then he wanted to write an article on all these sadhus, the monks. He was not very happy about their lifestyle. So he was thinking that they were just a parasite on the society, because they were just sitting and doing nothing. When the entire world was working, these guys were sitting and doing nothing. So he wanted to write an article. So he wrote to Swami Shivananji in Rishikesh and requested him if he can give him an interview. He said, come. So he goes there to Rishikesh and stays there, and there is the turning point of Swamiji. He sees the life lived by the monks, and he thought that this is the best life. Why? Because they took care of themselves and also took care of the entire society. They contributed, they gave the maximum. Their life was so meaningful, full in fact. So he also wanted to live that way, but he had a lot of questions. We asked Swami Shivananji, and Swamiji Shivananji was a great spiritual giant who has created a lot of great masters for the society. He answered patiently. And then once Swamiji went and asked, I want to take up sannyas. Then Swamiji said, are you prepared for it? Then he said, yes. Then after a while, Swamiji was given on a Shivaratri day, 1949, and named Pujya Swami Chinmayananda Saraswati. And then from there on, again he lived in this place, but he asked a lot of questions to Swami Shivananji. And then Swami Shivananji said, see, he is basically a doctor, Swami Shivananji. And he didn't have time to answer his questions, because he used to write books, he used to treat people, he used to do courses. So he didn't have time for it. Then he said, okay, don't worry, I have a person in Himalayas. He is called Himavat Vibhuti, Pujya Swami Tapovan Maharaj. Gurudev also he was called. So he was staying in Uttarakashi. So Swamiji said, you go there, go ask him. So Swamiji treks 160 to 170 kilometers. Those days there were no facilities like that. So he used to walk, and then reaches Swami Tapovan Maharaj's feet and says, I am coming from Swami Shivananji. I would like to know the truth of life. Then Swamiji Tapovan Maharaj tells him, do you have a recommendation letter? Then Swamiji was stunned. Why do I need a recommendation letter to know the truth? But Swamiji insisted, so he had to walk back. the entire 160 kilometer. And then asked Swami Shivanji, Swami Tapovan Maharaj is asking for a recommendation letter. Swamiji doesn't say anything, he just smiles and writes a letter and gives him. He says, he is testing you. Then again with the letter he goes back. What is the purpose of this is, do you have the thirst? Do you really want to know? Are you ready to do anything for this truth? Unless and until these qualities are not there, a seeker will not be able to reach the truth. A teacher always tests this, because the knowledge which he is going to give you is not ordinary knowledge. It's a supreme knowledge. So he goes back and under the feet of Swami Tapovan Maharaj, his doubts clear, he realizes the truth, but he doesn't stop there. He goes and tells Swami Tapovan Maharaj, I would like to share this knowledge. Swamiji says, don't go down, because people will not appreciate this knowledge. If you are thirsty only, you will go to the waterfront. Whoever is thirsty will come to us, we will give to them. But Swamiji insisted that he saw the entire world of people suffering a lot. He couldn't bear the suffering. Out of compassion, he took the permission of Swami Tapovan Maharaj and also Swami Shivananji, and then he started his Digvijaya, the Brahma Vidya, the Advaita knowledge, Digvijaya. He came down to Pune and went to a Ganapati temple and requested the people there, can he do some discourses on Upanishads and our Hindu Dharma, Shastras from the Hindu Dharma. They were not really receptive, but he insisted, I would like to share, because till then this knowledge was not in public. It was only given to people who searched for it, who lived a very disciplined life, stayed and in a Gurukulam kind of a surrounding, and then with extreme focus, single pointed focus, people used to get this knowledge. But now here is a man who has just come from Himalayas and wants to share it to everyone and anyone. But why did he do that? Out of his compassion, out of his love. This knowledge is a universal knowledge and everybody should get it. Irrespective of caste, creed and religion, on a public platform, he wanted to share this knowledge. So he started his first series. The first talk which he gave was, let us Hindus be Hindus first. Because his observation was, the Hindu people had been disconnected from their own religion, practices and the knowledge. And they did not feel proud about it. And so he had to tell this to the public, to the Hindu public. Then he did 100 days yajna, Upanishad yajna. First session for his talk, there are only 3 people. His Swami teacher, Swami Tapovan Maharaj had told him, if you don't have 4 people, you come back to Himalayas. Then he wrote to Swamiji, there were 4 people, including me. That's the mark of a teacher who considers himself as a student all the time. So from then on, no turning back. When he finished, there were 3,000 people in his lecture. And he was talking only in English. So from then on it started. He started giving discourses on the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita and the Prakarana Granthas, the basic texts of Hinduism. He travelled far and wide, he did world tours, established the Advaita Dharma, Hindu culture and India, the nationalism, patriotism. This was very strong in all his talks. And the way he presented his ideas were very practical, very simple, understandable for a common man. And his English was too good. His charisma was amazing. So within 2-3 years, the President of India was inaugurating his yajna. And his methods were all very unique. The way he presented the Vedanta was very unique. And he wanted to include the entire strata of people into the system. So that is why he was not only giving discourses. There were temples built, there were orphanages, there were seva centers, there were schools, there were colleges, there were hospitals, there were retreat centers. Everything was included so that everybody had an opportunity, every temperament of people had the opportunity to express himself to reach his goal. That was very unique. And he set up a university, or if you want to call a place where people from any background come and study the Vedanta in Mumbai, Pune. And he created a lot of young people also, a lot of people like him. He did not want to dominate himself as Chinmaya. I am Chinmaya, only I will do. No. He said, I will create as many Chinmayas as possible. That's the mark of a leader. And in 1953, in Chennai, the first Chinmaya Mission Center was established. And then from then on, all the grassroots were initiated. The children, the young people, the young adults, for women, for the elderly, everybody was included in the seeking of the truth. So he himself set up the syllabus for them. He guided everyone personally. Everybody who wrote to him, he wrote to them personally. Imagine he writing every day 40 letters for 42 years. He used to write minimum of 40 to 50 letters every day. He spent at least 18 hours a day for the sake of the society and otherwise also thinking about it. Like this, 42 years he did, constantly contributing, no holiday for him. He had multiple bypass surgeries, highly diabetic. Doctor said, you can't talk, please rest. Chinmaya never rests, he always says. Till his last moment, after Chinmaya Mission was established also, he kept traveling, he kept transforming people. Doctors advised not to speak more than 20 minutes, but he used to speak 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Finally, he left the body, San Diego, 1993, and then his mortals were brought to Delhi, taken to Siddhabari, Himachal Pradesh, and his Bhu Samadhi is still there, a very, very powerful center of transformation and inspiration. The journey of a master, which has touched and transformed lakhs of people, and even now it is touching and transforming lakhs and lakhs of people. His vision will go on. The vision of the great rishis, individual transformation leads to world transformation. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari